999. Throwback to scientific notation. Write each number in scientific notation. Well, what I'm going to do is, so that I have enough room, I'm going to copy my number down. So for A, they give me the number 49 and 6300ths, or 49.63. So there are a few things to remember with scientific notation. What we need is we need to move the decimal so that this whole number here is called our leading digit. So our leading digit, we need to move the decimal so that it is greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. So that means I need to move my decimal to the left. If I moved it to the right, it would be 496.3. But if I move it once to the left, I get 4.963. So I've got my leading digit now. What I need to do is multiply by a power of 10. And another important part of scientific notation is that your multiplication sign is that X symbol of multiplying. We don't want to use the multiplication dot just because it's easy to confuse that with a decimal. So we're going to have 4.963 times a power of 10. So remember, when we're multiplying a power of 10, our exponent is however many times we moved the decimal. So it's going to be 10 to the power of 1. Just 10 is fine too if you prefer. So even if you just have 4.963 times 10, it would be inferred that that 10 is to the first power. So this is what we should have for part A. All right, part B. Again, wow, we have a really tiny number here. So it looks like I have 0.000000005. I want to check just to be sure. So this is where precision is really important with math. So even if, you think you're sure, double check yourself, because if I have an extra 0 or not enough, then that's really going to mess up my final answer. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I had 6 zeros. Okay. After the decimal point. So now in this case, we want to move, we know our leading digit needs to be greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. So if I move it this way, that's just going to give me a smaller number. So that means that I need to move my decimal to the right this time. So I'm moving it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places. All right, so when I move it here, that gives me a leading digit of 5. Or you could say 5.0, but 5 is fine. So my leading digit is 5, and I'm going to multiply it by a power of 10. Remember, we want to use that X symbol for the multiplication when we're working in scientific notation. Now, we have an interesting situation here because we moved our decimal to the right. And when we do that, anytime we have a teeny tiny number like this, a number that's less than 1 or very small, this might be an easy way for you to remember. It's going to be a negative exponent. Or you could just say, if we're moving to the right, it's going to be negative. So I would have 5 times 10 to the negative 7th. And that's all we need for B. All right, finally, let's have a look at C. So for C, they give us the number 3,120,000,000. All right, well, I don't have a decimal. So where do I put my decimal? Well, if you don't have a decimal and you're not given a decimal, remember the decimal always comes at the end. So after my last zero is where it's going to be. So that's where I'll put my decimal. Remember, we've got to move it in some direction to make this leading digit greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. I need to go this way to the left. If I go to the right, it's just going to make it a larger number. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, 9 would give me a leading digit of 3.12. So now that I've got my leading digit of 3.12, I know I'm multiplying by a power of 10. Now the question is, what is my exponent? Well, our exponent, in this case, we went to the left, so it's going to be a positive exponent. If you can't remember that left is a positive exponent, you can think of the really big numbers or the really large numbers are positive. We went 9 places to the left. So we would have 3.12 times 10 to the 9th. All right. That is our answer for C, and that's all for 999.